Greetings, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News. I'm Craig Nolan. Thanks for joining us.
Hello, Craig Nolan.
Hello,
I'm Daniel Pineda.
Daniel. And just the two of us here tonight.
And now we're missing Adele
We're
here.
missing our Adele Quo. She's
On assignment.
not under the weather, on assignment, as we say. So
on assignment.
working on her script for next week.
We'll
So
go with that.
Hopefully we'll have Adele back next week with more easy being green information. On this week's show, as previously mentioned, News and Community Bulletin Board, a roll-in from Denise, our theater reviewer, and she's looking at Love's Labor Lost on this week's show, our News for Seniors segment. And then our styrofoam mom, Miriam Gennari, and her sustainable scoop, as she's talking with the folks at, or one of the folks anyway, at the Art Truck.
Yes.
Just cruising around.
She always has the exclusives, right?
The exclusive. So that's our show. But before we begin, social media reminder from Senior Pineda.
Well, yes. Well, first thing, we miss you, Adele. We hope that you come back soon. And you can watch the Arlington Weekly News on our very own YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Arlington Weekly News and the number 1. Also, facebook.com/Arlington Weekly News. And Craig, also on the radio.
On the radio, WERA 96.7 LPFM. The audio from our little show here is played back on the radio, WERA
On the radio.
96.7 LPFM. All right, here we go.
Let's get started.
First of our news items underway. Now, here, let's go. The Arlington County School Board has unanimously passed a $669.5 million budget this past Thursday, May 9th. The previous draft budget was slightly lower at $669.3 million and included a funding gap of about $6.7 million. However, the Arlington County Board passed a property tax increase, which may help to offset some of the shortfall. Daniel.
Well, Craig, on Saturday, May the 11th, police were summoned to a home in the 3800 block of Washington Boulevard. Upon arriving, they were told that a suspect had attempted to assault people at the home with a hammer. The suspect had fled the home before the police arrived, and according to witnesses, Arlington resident Timo Sese had entered the home and became irate while searching for an item, and the altercation became, physical. Mr. Sese was located later and charged with attempted malicious wounding. Correct.
And Daniel, also in our news items, there were 2 incidents this past weekend in which an attempt at shoplifting escalated into an assault. Michelle Hawkins of Arlington reportedly entered a store and began concealing merchandise. When a store employee confronted her, she struck the employee and caused some minor injuries. Elsewhere, Daquan Williams, another Arlington resident, began to leave a different store with unpaid merchandise when he was confronted by a loss prevention employee. Mr. Williams reportedly struck the employee multiple times. Both individuals were later arrested and charged with robbery. Daniel.
Well, Craig, on to the next story for tonight. I know you're jealous that you're not reading this one. Well, Craig, while we're preparing this week's script, our producer decided to check out available information on, what makes a good news story. Well, the American Press Institute had an article which may surprise some people. The article stated that a good story is something the audience decides is interesting or important. A great story often does both by using storytelling to make important news interesting. Well, this sounds somewhat like tell the public what you think they want to hear instead of telling them what they deserve to know. The article goes on to state that treatment trumps topic. How a story is told is more important to the audience than its topic. What is it about? Well, here at Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News, we strive for a higher standard of reporting than this article certainly suggests.
The difference between a good story and an interesting story. Stay tuned. There's more on that one coming.
More news coming up.
All right. We'll be back with CBB, Community Bulletin Board, right after, over here? No, this one right over here.
Okay.
This one here. Right after a roll-in, another installment of Everyday Arlington. Check it out.
Hello, this is Hef Munson out and about in Arlington. We're continuing the little series called Everyday Arlington. Places that you may have forgotten about or maybe didn't even know about. And this one's free. This is a brand new little park installation that they have put up sometime in the last couple of years while I wasn't watching. It is on the Washington and Old Dominion Trail. It is rather near Columbia Pike and of course 4 Mile Run. And they've got a special little bicycle section where the inexperienced riders can go, and it's really very nice. The other thing it has that I personally like a great deal is a water fountain. This is something that if you walk the trail a lot, you really appreciate. And they have just a general sit-down place, and it's very lovely. Let's go ahead and explore a little bit. This is the sign that tells you where you are. All of these parks have these, and here's this one. This is the sign that's a little bit more specific, but not really specific enough as far as I'm concerned. Here's a special effect dissolving into a whimsical water fountain. If you look closely, you can pretend that it's got a big wide open mouth, no eyes, and a little nose, and 2 hands holding out things where you can get water. Just work with me. Then we have a nice little sort of table benchy thing. And then we have an amazing array of benches. Just imagine sitting in all of them at once, or maybe not. Then we have a slightly out of focus little sweep of all these wonderful displays about living upstream or running 4 miles to the Chesapeake, or better yet, flowing with time. If you want to see the detail, just come to the park. My favorite part is the learning loop, which is designed for, it says so right there, young and inexperienced riders, so people can go on the trail without getting run over by hotshots, which is kind of a sticking point of mine. Little kids and old people can enjoy that. I like it so much that here's another view of it with a big wide panorama thing. And that's pretty much it, but isn't it nice? You can see it's just a little loop. And you can go round and around and around, kind of like you can pretend you're a toy train. So this completes our little overview of this nice new park, technically part of the Glen Carlin Park, and it's all a part of Everyday Arlington.
All right. Thanks to our venerable producer, Hef Munson, out there on the scene in Arlington County Parks.
Covering all of the information for our audience.
That looks like a nice little park they put in there. The loop. I like the loop. Thanks, Hef. We appreciate it.
I like that zoom out.
Okay, and the zoom was nice as well. Here we go now, as promised, our CBB Community Bulletin Board file, item number 1. Well, every year, umbrella-leaved mayaples grow in parks all around Arlington. You can gather and learn more about these plants as you hike around and feed fruits to local live animal visitors. This event is great for families with children ages 5 and older. It takes place on Saturday, May 25, from 10 till 11 a.m. at Gulf Branch Nature Center and Park, 3608 North Military Road. Cost is $5. For more information and to register, call them at this number or go online, 703-228-4747. Daniel.
Well, Craig, it's that time. Finals got you worked up? Well, this event is aimed at middle and high school students who are looking to, well, de-stress a bit before the end of the year. Come and create your own relaxation kit for times when you need a moment of peace. All materials will be provided, so no need to worry about that either. This is taking place on Tuesday, May the 19th from 4 to 5 p.m. in the Young adult room. That's at the Central Library, located at 1015 North Quincy Street. It's a de-stressor, Craig.
A de-stressor.
It's time to de-stress a little.
Something we can all use a little bit more of these days.
Yes.
De-stressing. All right. Also in our CBV items, nearly 10% of senior citizens suffer from dementia, and this next event is all about creating support for people who are affected by dementia. This event will discuss Alzheimer's and other conditions, as well as discuss ways to create a more inclusive community for our elders who are affected by this condition, and it also affects their caregivers. This event is taking place on Tuesday, May 28th from 2 to 3:30 p.m. at Bluemont, in the Bluemont Room at the Central Library on Quincy Street. Attendance is on a first-come, first-served basis, so get there early. Daniel.
I really like how Jordan is writing these stories. I'm starting to know more about the Central Library rooms. Well, this is a great event for kids from kindergarten to grade 5 who love to build things. And let's face it, what kid doesn't? If your kid enjoys Legos, Lincoln Logs, train sets, or other building toys, well, come have them play with building blocks and use their hands and imagination to create lots of really cool things. Children under 9 will need to be accompanied by an adult. That's taking place on Thursday, May the 23rd from 4 to 5 p.m. That is in the Storytime Room in the Columbia Pike Branch Library, located at 816 South Walter Reed Drive. Register online or by calling them for more information. That number is at 703-228-5993. And Craig, as always, we want to thank Jordan Kuharski for this week's CBB Stories. He does a great job every week.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks, Jordan. Now, don't go away. News for Seniors is coming your way right after we hear from Denise and her thoughts on Love's Labor Lost. Here's Denise.
Love's Labor's Lost, now at Folger Theater, is a stunning and stylish production of one of William Shakespeare's earliest comedies. The King of Navarre has decided that his kingdom will become an academic oasis and has persuaded 3 of his lords, Longueville, Dumaine, and Baronne, to sign an oath to commit themselves to a 3-year period of study, during which they will sleep 3 hours a night, fast frequently, and avoid all contact with women. Baronne exhibits the most reluctance to this plan, but the king wins him over, and all 4 sign the pledge. No sooner that this decision is made, the Princess of France arrives, conveniently accompanied by 3 attending ladies. In keeping with Shakespeare's familiar plot twists, 4 young couples immediately fall in love, despite the recent pledge. A Spanish soldier in the court is smitten with a servant girl and writes a letter to her. Meanwhile, Baronne writes to Rosaline. Both men ask Costard to deliver the letters. In keeping with another Shakespearean comedic tradition, the letters are mixed up. The usual frivolity follows. The men disguise themselves when visiting the women. The women retaliate by masking themselves and exchanging the loaf tokens they've been given. The entertainment is cut short when a messenger arrives to tell the princess that her father has died. She and her ladies plan a quick return to France, each telling her beloved that she will return after a year of mourning to reassess their relationship. Vivienne Benesch is the director. When she toured the Folger and saw the reading room, she immediately decided it would make the perfect set for this play with its emphasis on scholarly study. She set it in 1932, the year the building was opened to the public. Lee Savage, the scenic designer, interpreted the warm wooden shelving to hold the books. The imposing staircases are crowned with a copy of the exquisite stained glass window that is beautifully illuminated by the lighting design of Colin K. Bills. Tracy Christensen, the costume designer, has clothed the 4 gentlemen in white dinner jackets and the 4 noblewomen in elegant, shimmering, fringed flapper dresses, suggesting the period. Love's Labor's Lost plays at the Folger through June 9th. Revisit the Bard's early comedy with its rich dialogue and magnificent setting that pays loving homage to the Folger Shakespeare Library, home of the world's largest collection of Shakespeare-related books and artifacts. I'm Denise Pringle. Now back to the news desk.
Thanks, Denise, and her thoughts on
She loved it.
Love's labor law. She loved it.
No pun intended.
Thanks, Denise. We appreciate it. Every week she does her theater reviews. Here we go now. As promised, news for seniors, for all you seniors. Put your glasses on. I forgot my news for seniors glasses.
Look, you even have your wristband
I'm going
now.
to have to do them without. Here we go. Not everyone knows it, but there are serious do's and don'ts on the golf course. That is, there's a lot more to golf than just swinging a club. Well, Beth Baines is an expert on golf etiquette, and she will be presenting a program to help you be on your best behavior on the nines. That's coming up on Thursday, May 23rd at 11 in the morning at Walter Reed Community and Senior Center, located at 2909 16th Street South. For more information and to register, call them at this number, 703-228-0955. Daniel.
It seems like you're playing a lot of golf. Look at that hand over there. That looks
This
pretty
didn't have
nasty.
anything to do. This was football.
It's football. That's the real sport, right?
Yeah.
Well, Craig, once you have your golf etiquette under your belt, you may want to join the Arlington Senior Golf Club. This group plays 26 different Northern Virginia golf courses from April through October. For more information, just email Dennis McDonald. That's at dkmcdonald@att.net or call 703-228-4771. Craig.
All right, another one in our News for Seniors file. Well, do you know what the internet cloud is and where it goes or where it comes from or what it is? Well, tech guru and Arlington Mills Senior Center Director Nick England will answer questions about OneDrive, iCloud, Dropbox, Google Drive, and other cloud-based storage systems for computers and wireless devices. This event coming up on Wednesday, May 22nd at 7 in the early evening at Arlington Mill Community and Senior Center. They're located at 909 South Dinwiddie. For more information and registration, call them at this number, 703-228-7369. Daniel.
He's the tech genius.
Nick England, tech
Nick
genius.
England, yes. Well, Craig, the Lee Senior Center and the Westover Library are partners in a movie book club. Book selections are adult fiction novels that have been made into feature films. After meeting to discuss the book at the center, the group meets on the following week for a following of the film at the library. The next book is The Kite Runner. The book discussion will be held on Wednesday, May the 22nd at 1:30 p.m. at the Lee Community and Senior Center. That is located at 5722 Lee Highway. The film showing will take place on Wednesday, May the 27th at 1 p.m. at the Westover Branch Library at 1644 North McKinley Road, Suite 3. For more information, call 703-228-0555. And as always, we want to thank our own Judy Masobny for contributing our senior stories this week and certainly every week.
Thanks, Judy. We
Thank
appreciate
you, Judy.
it.
Great
All
job.
right, don't go away. We'll be back with sign-off and bye-bye right after we hear from our Styrofoam mom and another installment of her Sustainable Scoop. Here's Miriam.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of the Sustainable Scoop. One thing we love here in Arlington is the arts, and we just cannot get enough of it. And now we do not have to, thanks to Cynthia Connolly. She is the special curator for the Arlington Art Truck. Got it right?
That's right.
You work for Arlington Cultural Affairs, but the Arlington Art Truck is your brainchild.
It is. About 3 or 4 years ago, I had the idea of instead of being in a building, we would put the curated art project with the artist in a truck and go to where people convene.
Which is great because, you know, we've had art centers, art spheres in places, but you know what? It's really hard for people to remember to go somewhere or to mark their calendar.
Exactly.
And the first time I saw the Arlington Art Truck was at the farmer's market, where there was a line of people.
Oh, good.
Yeah, really good.
Oh, that's really great. Yeah, well, that's the idea. Was originally, well, I worked at the farmer's market here at a courthouse for 20 years with an organic grower, and it came to me, the idea came to me thinking about how people really have the time to spend at a farmer's market. They go there and they want to spend time there, and they want to talk to their friends, and they want to talk to the farmers. And I realized that art would be a perfect place for that, because that's where people do have the time to make and create, but also hang out and talk and think of new ideas. And so that's how the Arlington Art Truck started.
It's interesting. It's like craft and making, and that's what you see at a farmer's market, and now you bring in this art concept, and people really do love it.
But it is making, even like, I guess now food and farming is part of this. It's all about hands and hand making.
Right. Well, it's also about experiential things happening in life.
Right.
And so Arlington's Cultural Affairs sponsors this.
It does. It's part of our programming.
And part of the programming is bringing in artists. So tell me about some of the artists that you've had on the truck.
So, just this year, every year we have different community partners, and we have 3 to 4 artists in a season from April to October. So right now we have Rachel Schmidt, who is from Washington, from Silver Spring, Maryland. And our community partner this year is the Solid Waste Bureau, and we're talking about recycling, but also how to reduce our inevitable waste. So Rachel is really concerned about plastic, which I know you love to talk about plastic.
Indeed.
So she has went on an artisan residency about 3 years ago to Taipei, Taiwan, and she was observing how much plastic there was and how much plastic there was in the food that she was eating. So she built an installation saving all of her plastic and then wrapping it in printed paper of the fauna of Taiwan. And so she saw, by just piling up all that plastic, how much plastic just one person consumes, and it's single use, and it just turns into garbage or gets recycled. So that's what we're doing for the Arlington Art Truck right now.
I have to applaud Arlington Waste Management. I can be really critical sometimes, but the fact that they're showing support and taking this information to the community members is wonderful. What kind of reaction are you getting?
Oh, it's amazing, because people, Arlington has a really smart community. And then just last week, when we're doing this project and you set it up, people sort of wonder, what are they doing? And so you have to sort of, do you want to make some art? Do you want to do this? And so we realized last week, we're like, do you guys want to make art, or do you want to talk about recycling? And they're like, we want to talk about recycling. And so we had some people who just sat around and talked for 45 minutes about how, I didn't even know this, that there's communities now that have compost pickup, that they're paying for pickup. And so different neighborhoods just pay for it for their whole neighborhood. I found out so many people want to know, what's going on with the glass that's not being recycled through our single stream recycling. Right. And they want to know what the answers are to that, or how they can get it recycled, or what's going on with that. It's really interesting to talk about how recycling, and this is what we get into a lot, is it's part of it's a commodities market. And so it ebbs, and the demand of these products ebbs and flows.
What I think is really, really special about what you're doing with art is that, things become tangible again. They don't become single use. An art project that's made of any material becomes a treasure. So you're teaching people to treasure resources. And now, where do artists get together and connect?
So, artists, it's interesting. The whole DC area, artists, I've always found the best places that artists convene are really at art centers, or so like the Columbia Pike Artist Studios, or the Arlington Arts Center, or the Gallery Underground, in the Underground Studios in Crystal City. And so there's also ARC 3409, which is near Arlington Arts Center. And so when you have artists and studios together, they really do collaborate, or they, bounce off ideas with each other, and that's always a really good, fertile environment for creation.
Which is why it's really important that Arlington's economic development recognizes and invests in the arts, right?
It's really important.
So if you have big projects coming up in the future, any big plans?
Well, the Arlington Art Truck operates from April to October, so I am just 100% there. We are doing what I call them activations, and I'm doing something over 30 during that time, which is a lot.
Oh my goodness.
So that's on my plate now.
And you're an artist too, yourself.
I am an artist. So I have been speaking. I spoke at the Hirshhorn in December, and about a book that I published 30 years ago about the DC punk music scene called Banned in DC. and I do exhibitions on and off.
Awesome. Well, if people want to learn more about you and definitely find out more about the Arlington Art Truck, how do they do that?
They just go to arlingtonarts.org, and there's a tab that says Arlington Art Truck, and they can read about that, and they can also read about everything else Arlington Arts does.
And they can find you because you're always on the truck.
Right.
Oh,
So they can just find me anywhere in Arlington where you see the truck.
Awesome.
Which looks sort of like an ice cream truck, but it isn't.
All right. We'll be on the lookout for it. Thank you so much,
Thank
Cynthia.
you.
And I
Thanks
hope
for
you'll
having
come
me
back.
here. Okay, I will
share with
definitely
us.
come back.
Perfect.
Thank
We're counting
you.
on it. Aren't we so fortunate to have such wonderful citizens in our community doing amazing work? I want to thank all of you for watching this edition of The Sustainable Scoop. I am Miriam Gennari. Back to the news desk.
All right,
Yeah,
thanks,
the art
Miriam,
truck.
Mama G, the art truck.
I love it.
For all you artists out there, that's a good thing.
Oh, great thing.
Even
We
if
need
you're-
more of
even
that.
if you're not an artist, but
Yeah.
especially if you're an artist, to get out there and create something,
Yeah,
draw something,
the
sketch
creativity part of it
paint.
is so beautiful, right?
So we're stretching now, per our instructions from the control room. But
Thank you for
anything-
letting the audience know about that. Okay, you're always good at
Anything
that.
you'd like to add? Yeah, I get in trouble for making tech comments all the time. But
Well, I hope
anything
you
else
had,
you'd like to
you had a
add?
great Mother's Day.
And
How did
as
that
of-
go?
Mother's Day was great. Yeah, we had for the first time I ordered tails,
Oh.
lobster tails online.
Oh,
and they
how did
were
that go?
okay. We had surf and turf. It was great.
Amazon Prime
it
member?
rained all day, as you know, but it was a great Mother's Day.
Are you an Amazon Prime member? Is that how you got him?
I am I'm an Amazon Prime member, but that wasn't how I did. I ordered from the lobster guy. The
lobster guy.
They were actually in Rhode Island,
Yeah.
but they have Maine lobster, and they sent me 8 tails.
You must have had some time.
I don't know. Maybe it was the way we prepared them. They were
Yeah.
a little. They weren't as advertised.
Well, maybe you have to blame the lobster guy.
So maybe I don't know. Maybe it was the way we
Maybe he's not the guy.
cooked them. I don't know. The lobster guy's not the guy. But a belated Happy Mother's Day
Yeah.
to all you
Love
mothers.
you, Mom. Love
and
you, Grandma
all you
Lisa, Grandma
sons and
Lucha,
daughters
todos.
and husbands who are out there shopping for all that Mother's Day, all those Mother's Day goodies.
Mm-hmm.
We hope you survived that and your checking account didn't do too much damage.
And Father's Day is right around the
Father's
corner,
Day is coming, so
Your
yeah,
day.
Our day is coming up, next year, and I don't know what else to say, but as of this taping, the Nats are up 5-1.
We miss you, Dusty. You
On the
belong
Mets.
with the Nats there.
Dusty
Come on.
Baker.
They didn't treat him right.
But
I'm boycotting the Nats.
I see. You don't want to go to a game? We could go to.
We could go to a game.
Good game tomorrow. They got a day game. Okay.
All right, well,
getting
thank
the
you,
wrap.
guys.
Thank you, Paul. That's it. We stretched
Finally.
enough. Finally, got the wrap. So that's it from us from here for now.
Yep.
Next week, if you're out there, we'll be here and we'll try it all again. Have a safe week. Bye-bye.